Alright guys, what's up? Phil for Bliss here, and welcome to Story Time. No, but thought I'd tell you guys a story about my first homecoming when I was a freshman. While you guys watch my gameplay, I think I'm playing Need for Speed Most Wanted, the new one. Yeah, so you guys can check that out. Bam, right here, and how to do it. I don't know. But yeah, you guys can check that out while I tell you about that story. I'm just gonna shrink me, and I'll probably be over here somewhere, and the gameplay will be down there, around that area. Yeah. So yeah. So let's get started with the story. So look, started freshman year. My first homecoming, I was supposed to be going with Alex, and his mom was supposed to come pick us up and bring us to the dance because, well, I drive now, but back then, you know, you're a freshman. I was only I think 15, 16 or whatever. So yeah, she's supposed to drop us off or whatever. So when we get there, we're standing in line. I'm all excited and geeked up because, you know, I dance. In case you haven't noticed, or if you haven't seen my last video, go check that out. But yeah, I dance. So I was all excited to show everybody that I can dance, to show my moves off or whatever. So we finally get in. Everything's going good. I felt like I was a player because I was dancing with every girl there. Every girl I seen, I didn't care if she liked me or not. I just ran up on her and started dancing or whatever. Yeah, I remember that they had the not the camera. Yeah, they had a camera there, but it was like the radio station. Yeah, WBC whatever. They were there and they had the microphone and the camera. We could do shout outs, and then they'll put it up on the website later or whatever. And that's pretty much what I did. I would dance, run, go do a shout out, get something to drink, run back, do another shout out, and go back to dancing. And I remember that me, Lucas, Alex, a bunch of other dudes that I used to hang out with, or that I still hang out with, but that I was doing the thing with. We would just pretty much stay over there and act like we were working for the people. So I had a microphone in my hand. I'm gonna use the sucker as a microphone. I had a microphone in my hand, and I'm like, oh yeah, how's 2000 and I think it was like 10 or 11. How's the 2010 homecoming going, guys? And I'll interview everybody. And I'm like, yeah, I want to make a shout out. And as soon as I said that, this girl, one of the finest girls I've ever seen, in a red dress walked by, right? And I was like, I want to make a shout out to that girl right there. I never seen her before in my life. But she's like started getting like all shy, and her friend like ran away. And I'm gonna go find out what that girl's name is. So like I run after her, try to find her. I couldn't find her. Until this girl comes up to me and she was like, did you really mean what you said about that one girl? And I was like, hell yeah, that girl looks good, right? So it turns out that was her best friend. And she was like, did you want to dance with her? So I'm like, yeah. So I go and I'm dancing with her or whatever. Turns out the girl was a senior. I was a freshman. I told her I was a senior, so she believed me. All this hair on my face. But yeah, she thought I was a senior, but I was a freshman. Her name was Ashley. I don't know her last name, but I know she went to Mott. And yeah, everything's going good, dance or whatever. And then after it, she's like, "Oh, thanks for the dance." She gave me a hug, said that, you know, she's thankful for me calling her cute and all that other stuff. I'm like, no problem. She walks away. So then I danced one more song, and it just dawned on me that this senior chick was actually into me, and my dumb self didn't go get her number, right? So for the rest of the homecoming, like I didn't care about the songs or the shout outs anymore. I'm trying to find this girl. Well, I never found her. So I was all down and sad. So I went outside. The homecoming was over. You know, everybody's saying, oh, yeah, it was so much fun. You know, I had fun, but, you know, I didn't get a girl's number. So I go outside, and I'm sitting on a little blue bench, all down, waiting for my boy Brian. Now, Brian he wanted to go to the homecoming, but he had to work. And he had to work because he wanted to buy this new car that he bought that day or whatever. So it was just too much going on for him to go to homecoming. So I'm waiting for him to pick me up. Well, as I'm sitting there all mad because I didn't get Ashley's number, this girl Christine comes and she sits down next to me. And she's sitting there. She was shaking because she was so cold because, you know, it was cold outside. So it was kind of like a movie. So I turn and I look at her, and I slide down the bench, and I put my arm around her, and I'm like warming her up or whatever. Now, I really didn't know this girl. I just knew that she was in like my third hour, my math class or whatever. And I knew her name was Christine. Well, actually I didn't, but I found out later her name was Christine. So yeah, I'm warming up, whatever. She just looks at me like she didn't like run away or anything. She like smiles and just sat there. Let me keep warming her up. Her friends come up and like, who is this guy? Like, it's kind of awkward if a random guy just like sitting there putting his arm around you or whatever. And she's like, she really doesn't know, but she knew I was in her third hour. Anyway, I ended up getting her number, and that goes, you know, that's a long story, but I end up getting her number or whatever. But then Brian finally pulls up. Now, here's the deal. Megan was having a party after homecoming, and I told my dad that me and Brian and his mom was going to get something to eat after, so I could stay out later, right? Because I knew he wasn't gonna let me go to the party. So I finally get to Megan's party. It's cool. Everybody's going crazy. We're having a good time. Richard's like throwing drinks down my throat and all other shit. And like I'm pretty much messed up at this point. I don't know. I just remember kissing random people, but I don't know how that goes. But look, my phone was broke at the time, so my mom and my dad is like constantly calling Brian, calling his mom like, where am I at? Am I okay? All this other shit. So Brian's mom calls Brian, and I guess Brian, I don't know if Brian was allowed to go to the party or whatever, but he went anyway. So he was in trouble, I was in trouble. So we pretty much knew we were in deep shit. So we left the party. Everybody's like going to sleep and going to wherever they spend the night or whatever. We left the party. I'm still messed up. But when we left, it dawned on me that I left my iPod there. So I ran back to find my iPod. It's completely gone. Like, I still don't know where it is. And that's like 4 years ago. So yeah, we get back to Brian's house, and I see my mom's car in his driveway. I'm like, oh, I'm so fucked, right? So I'm like, I know I'm done. So Brian, before we go to the door, it's like one of the movies. Brian's like, yeah, bro, we gotta go on there strong. So he's like, I love you. I'm like, I love you too, bro. So, you know, he gives me a fist pump, or a fist pound or whatever. We open, fist dap, and we open up the door, and Brian's mom like sitting in her big chair with her legs crossed with a cup in her hand. My mom just sitting on the couch, and she's giving me like this dirty look. I'm like, oh, Lord, I'm so in trouble. So Brian's white, right? And, you know, I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but, you know, Brian gives his mom the story like, oh, you never let me have fun. I work so hard. I just want to go out and have a fun time, right? My parents don't play that bullshit. So I get in the car with my mom. We're driving home. She's like, you know you're deep shit, right? And remind you, I'm still drunk. So I didn't say anything. I'm just looking out the window, just staring at the stars. Like, oh, it's a pretty nice stars out, right? So I get home. I know my dad's about to whoop my ass. So I go into the bathroom. I'm using the bathroom or whatever. And, like, this is the longest pee in my life, because I didn't want to leave. So I was kind of, like, holding it and, like, going at a little bit at a time, trying to make it last as long as, like, as possible. And I hear my dad run down the stairs. He's like, where are you at? Where are you at? Come on out. I'm like, I'm in the bathroom. He's like, hurry up. You know? So I finally come out, right? So he's like, where'd you go? I'm like, I was at the party. And he's like, you know, blah, 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 all that other crap. But then all of a sudden, I just remember laying on the floor. So, like, I hear him saying, get up, get up, get up. And I'm just passed out on the floor. I can't get up because I'm still messed up. So my legs are all wobbly and stuff. And the next thing you know, I just remember waking up in the morning in my bed. So I wake up, I go to my mom. I'm like, Mom, what happened last night? She was like, all I know is he said, where are you at? You just, like, ran at him. And, like, you guys were tussling. And all of a sudden, like, he didn't even touch you, but you just, like, fell on the floor and just passed out. And I was like, oh, Lord. Like, what did I do? It was like off of a movie. Like, I hate you, Dad. Run, run, run. Tussle, tussle. Pass out on the floor. But, yeah. And my dad didn't talk to me for, like, a week straight. And then he finally talked to me saying how he was disappointed and all that other crap. But, yeah, man. That was all in one night. My first homecoming being a freshman. I hope you enjoyed the story.